Cash. We're hanging out with our boy Jay Brooks. It's Jay Brooks.
Are we on video right now?
Right now.
We're video right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
I thought we were
our
trying to
friend
take a
Jay
picture.
Brooks has been smiling.
Well, there's a little bit of a fun intro. We got that with the Low Cash boys. You know those guys at all?
Yeah, I met them a couple times down in Nashville. Yeah,
They're crazy.
they like to get after it, man.
With me, he's going to be in Mason City coming up this weekend. It is Anderson Daniels. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to the show. Of course, I saw you here recently in Okoboji at the Midwest Country Originals or Organization Award Show.
Yeah,
That was fun, wasn't it?
that was a blast, man. We had a great night. It was cool to see everybody get together in the same room and kind of celebrate Midwestern country music.
Yeah. No. So, and what this organization is, because we play it on Wednesdays at noon, we play it Saturdays at 6 p.m. And then it's all artists that are from Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, all that. So, where do you call home?
Albertville, Minnesota is home for me, and then Nashville, Tennessee. Splitting time between here and there, so kind of back and forth quite a bit. But a Minnesota boy originally.
It's funny because some of you that started off up here in the Midwest are now moved to Nashville. You all seem to. We see a lot of you in the summertime.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that'll ever change, man. It's just, when the weather starts getting nice, we can do outdoor shows, festivals, county fairs, all of that stuff. It's always going to bring us back.
What? How do you get a phone call to be on a list of opening for Justin Moore?
Man, we've put in a lot of work on a show the last couple of years and had a really great run last summer. And so some of the folks that are putting this one together reached out about doing the opening slot. And obviously we said yes right away and can't wait to, get down to this new venue and be on this bill. Justin Moore's always been a big influence in my music. So to get to share the stage with him is pretty dang cool for me.
Yeah, no kidding. And when you play, do you do a lot of, you stay around the area you're at, or you do other Iowa shows or Wisconsin shows?
Yeah, we've been traveling quite a bit, everywhere from, out west in the Rockies all the way to, to Nashville and back up through the Midwest. So we've been kind of all over the place, and it's been a blessing. But yeah, we've done, a lot of stuff in Iowa, Surf Ballroom a couple of times down there in Mason City, which has been, or Clear Lake, which has been, a blessing to get to play such a historic place. And now to get to play, the Mason City Arena is going to be something really special. So I'm looking forward to it.
Who'd you open for at the Surf Ballroom?
Ronnie Millsap and Chris Jansen on a couple different occasions. So it was really, really cool to get to see, the history of that place. I've walked out in the back during Ronnie's set, and you sit in some of those booths back there, and they're tiny because people were just smaller back in the 50s and whatnot. So it's just like you get to see a place that's kind of been frozen in time for a long time, and it was pretty dang cool.
Yeah, we grow a little bit bigger now these days than they did back then.
That's right.
Man, but the history. I like to call it the Ryman of the Midwest.
That's a good way to put it. That's kind of how I felt being there and playing there. It was definitely cool to not only get to be on stage and be in the green room backstage and stuff and see all the names on the wall and everything, but to go out and enjoy the show with everybody else and just see how people still treat that place like it's such a historic venue, which it is. It's cool to see that's kind of still a tradition and then frozen in time.
Yeah, of course the venue you're coming to now, it's fairly new. A lot of it's been used for obviously hockey, but the ice is out and now is the time to do some concerts. And this is going to be like the first national act of country music that's going to be performing there. So how about that, huh?
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I obviously haven't been there since it's a pretty new venue, so I'm looking to get down there and see how everything's set up, and it sounds like it's going to be a great show. So I can't wait.
Where can people find? Well, Anderson Daniels is on the phone with us here, or actually video, and but where can people find your music?
I'm on all the streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, wherever, and then AndersonDanielsMusic.com has all my stuff. We got a few music videos out on YouTube and all that good stuff that we've had a blast filming over the last couple of years. So really, anywhere you can search Anderson Daniels on the internet, you should be able to find me.
Yeah, all the booking information too.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Look, Anderson Daniels, you got to get him up there and playing your festival, or you'll play anywhere, right?
Yeah. We've been fortunate to have some really good stuff come through the last year and a half, 2 years, and ever since COVID, has allowed us to start getting back on stage. We've had a full schedule, so it's been a lot of fun.
Do you have a spot that you in the Midwest or anywhere? We won't narrow it down to just the Midwest, but that you go, man, that place besides the Surf Ballroom, where's another cool venue that you've had the opportunity to play?
Man, we've actually got one coming up here soon, but we get to go down to Omaha, Nebraska. There's actually a venue there called Barnado Lounge, and it's built into the side of a Bentley dealership. So it's like it's a wild, my first time going down there to play, I was like, all right, we'll see how this goes. But it's such a cool venue, such a great stage and a listening room and everything like that. So that's one of my favorite spots. And then, getting out to those places in like Colorado and Wyoming, those dance halls, those cowboy dance halls are always a blast to go play too. It's just something different. And, love to get out there and play those stages too.
Yeah. When you're doing music, do you like to write a lot of your own stuff, or do you collaborate with some people in Nashville and get some writing and go, hey, let's grab a couple of shots of tequila or the Crown Royal or beers and let's write a song?
Yeah, it's beers for me. If I'm in a writer's room, it's either some sort of caffeine, coffee, or something like that, or it's beer. So, most of my stuff is, my first EP was all solo written. The next couple of songs, and since then I've been doing a lot of co-writes, and I've been fortunate as a writer to have some songs recorded by other artists that I've been writing for and stuff like that. So I love the songwriting process. I've kind of learned over the years who I am as an artist, and when we go in to write a song, whether this one's going to be for me or somebody else, you can kind of start to feel that as the song comes together. So my latest single here, The Wrong Guy, which we just came out with, was one of those songs where I wrote it with a few of my friends in Nashville. And, from the moment we put a chorus together, I kind of knew, all right, this song's probably going to be one that I record and put out. So when you start to get that in the writer's room, you definitely pay a lot of attention to the rest of the song coming together. You want it to be kind of perfect for what you're looking the song to get to and to kind of say. So, it's always a fun process being in there, and especially when you get one that is special and you're going to record, it's always a kind of the most efficient songwriting for me. So
yeah, do you write a lot about personal stuff in the Midwest or relationships?
I try really hard. Country music's definitely has had a lot of Southern influence, and growing up in the Midwest and listening to country music and just kind of relating a lot of what was in country music to where I was from. I try and put a lot of that stuff in my music, and where, in some of my songs like Way Out, the cornrows stretch in the Midwest skies, stuff like that. I want to make sure that I'm representing the people that I grew up around, because those are the people that got me into country music in the first place.
Yeah. So did you always listen to country music when you were younger? Have to, or did you just choose to?
Yeah, I had to for a little while, but it was, it was stuff that I loved. It was, Alan Jackson and Brooks and Dunn, and a lot of 90s stuff, kind of growing up with my dad driving me and my brothers around in the car. And, those early Brad Paisley records, early Kenny Chesney, stuff like that was all kind of on the radio at the time too. And then, there was a time where I wasn't listening to it as much. And then kind of when I was in high school and you got that adolescence part of country music where you're driving around with your buddies and, you just get your license, or you're drinking your first beer, all that type of stuff was.
What? What's the drinking laws of Minnesota? I get my license. Let's go party, boys.
As long as you don't get caught, I think that's the rule, right?
That's pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I think we've all done that a time or two, I think.
So that was right about the time, Jason Aldean's early stuff was coming on, Eric Church's early stuff was coming on. So those are some big influences in my music as well.
God, you are not that old. I remember playing those things as brand new songs.
Hey, what can I say?
Yeah. But yeah, because I mean, there was a spot too where me growing up, I had to listen to country because that's what dad listened to. And then when I got older, 14, 15, 16, I started getting some rock and roll. Like Kiss is my favorite band, AC/DC, Poison, all those guys.
Yeah.
Kind of similar. Or what were you besides country? What were you listening to?
Yeah, it was a lot of like heavy rock stuff. Obviously like getting into the classic rock and whatnot. And even still today, I listen to a lot of like the Eagles and John Cougar and stuff like that. I mean, that's all. I think if a lot of that came out today, it'd be considered country music. So it's a big influence on country music today, I think.
That's awesome. Anderson Daniels is with us, and he's going to be performing, opening for Adam Doliak is going to be there. And then, of course, Justin Moore, June 17th at the Mason City Arena. So get your tickets at masoncityarena.com or on the website. So, but I'm looking forward to it, because, saw you at the award show in Okoboji. You're going to be again there this year or next year. And so people will be able to get tickets, and it's a fun thing too. I mean, people should go to that. Even fans can go to that too.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see a lot of artists. We all are up on stage, performing a song or two, and getting to kind of share the stage with your peers is always a cool thing.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. It's really grown, this Midwest Country Originals, and it's great to see all the local talent. Local meaning Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, all of that. So because
it's kind of on the regional, kind of creating our regional platform, I think is what it's doing. And I really appreciate that because, you see a lot of the guys in the Red Dirt, Texas scene and obviously Nashville and stuff like that. Even, some of the California country has its own platform. And so for us to kind of get on the map as the Midwest, I think it's a big platform for us to use to kind of get more, more voices out there and more fans kind of paying attention to what's going on here.
Well, and you know what? When you think of the Midwest, you think country anyway.
Right.
You go to California, all I think of was buildings and highways.
Yeah, they got the Bakersfield sound out there, right? So it's like there's some pockets. We played some shows out there, and I was even surprised on some of the the country folks that were out there, and they're hiding, but they're there.
Yeah. Did you ever work in the fields running tractors or combines or hauling?
No, I was always in the warehouse or the machine shop growing up. I started working in those machine shops about 14, 15 years old. And, I was in a work program in school, in high school. So I'd go to class for the first half of the day and then go work. So, but we, growing up hunting and fishing, we get out, every year and do some hunting on some farmers' land and stuff like that. So getting to talk with them and seeing how, times change and how their fields are doing and everything like that. It's always a really cool thing for me to kind of, somebody who grew up a little bit, outside of that world to kind of learn it and see how it's been changing over the years is something that I appreciate for sure.
So here's a question to see how really country you are. If you were to go into a John Deere tractor or a International Case IH, would you know how to start it?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I'm going to throw I think so in there in case anything bad happens and I can't. So
right.
Protect myself that way.
But yeah. That's how we judge in Iowa.
Okay.
Do you know how to start a tractor? No.
That's the country cred. That's where it comes from.
That's right. That's how we find out how truly country you are.
Good test, man.
Yeah. Anderson Daniels with us here today. And again, he is going to be performing for Justin Moore June 17th this weekend. And it's a Saturday night show. You got nothing going on. It might be raining. So just come on in and enjoy a night of country music and a couple of cold beverages. And well, you won't walk away disappointed. I guarantee you that. Right?
That's right. Yeah. We're bringing a heck of a show down. So yeah, we'll definitely, get the crowd going for sure.
All right. Anderson Daniels opening for Justin Moore this weekend. Anderson, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.